Peace, family. Watching the news today, I'm thinking to myself: is it possible? Is it possible that America is a scam? Have we been hoodwinked to believe that America is what it's supposed to be, or what it claimed to be, the greatest country on earth? If America is the greatest country on earth, but first of all, let me describe what a scam is. A scam is making you believe one thing when it's actually another. Making you believe something is good when in actuality is bad. Is it possible that America, who claims to be the greatest country on earth, in actuality is one of the worst? I believe we've been scammed. I'm looking around the incidents of this mass shooting in Kentucky, and I'm listening to the doctors, the mayor, the police, and they all crying out for help. You know, when America says they're the greatest country on earth, and you have mass shootings, a disproportion permeating throughout society, how can these two incidences take place in the same time and space? How is it that this country can claim to be the greatest country on earth and having more mass shootings than days in the year? More people have died this year alone in mass shootings than the 20 years that they have fought a war in Iraq. So if it took Iraq during a war to kill 147 people, and you barely 147 days into this new year, you might not even be 147 days. Where would be the safest place for you to live? United States or Iraq? I'm leaning towards Iraq during war season. The number one killer of children in this country. It's not cancer, it's not no obesity, diabetes, it's none of that. It's gun violence. This is according to their own statistics. But how can America claim to be the greatest country on earth while having all these negative connotations attached to it? It's because they control their own media. They tell their own story, despite all the horrors that go on in this country. They still pumping out there that this is the greatest country on earth. I'm listening to the doctor give a report, and he said that he barely had to adjust his emergency room schedule to accommodate the mass shooting in Louisville. He barely had to adjust it because they deal with shootings on such a regular basis. Their ERs is always filled up. So one or two more people coming through the thing is not that big a deal to them. This is the condition that black people live in this country today. And I know people are going to say, well, it's not just happening to black people. My concern is only black people, because we are the most vulnerable of all people in this country. So when white people catch a cold, black people catch pneumonia. So if it's happening to white people, it's going to be 10 times worse happening to my people. That's why I'm making this a racial issue, to get my people to wake up and do some difficult things that will make your life easier, as opposed to doing the easy thing. It's going to make your life harder. Here you got the mayor of Louisville sitting up here talking about they got the laws writ up so that he would be breaking the law. If he enacted any type of law or legislation that would curb gun violence. And this is the mayor. So what is he doing? He's asking for local autonomy. Local autonomy. That means people within the community can decide what's best and safe for them, not somebody in Washington, 1,000 miles, 800 miles away. Local autonomy. This is what I've been telling black people to do for years. Come together and decide your own fate, as opposed to letting somebody else who don't live in your community, who don't have to abide by the rules and live up under conditions that these people are making for us, do it yourselves. That way you got nobody to complain to or about but yourself. This is not a hard thing to do. The mayor was also saying that they was telling him before he make his speeches or whatever, make his comments, don't politicize this. And I'm saying to myself, what do you mean don't politicize it? How else do you get things done in this country other than through politics? Because if you make decisions on your own, then you're breaking the law. But he was saying we got to put safety over the people. Whenever it's a concern addressing the people, they don't want you to politicize it because it forces them to have to do something. But I'm gonna tell you right now, these politicians aren't going to do anything until you put people over profit. See, as long as these people are making money, keeping things the way it is, there's no incentive for them to do anything, because you still have your hope and faith into these fools. Create an alternative. Create an ability to own and control. Because see, that's what don't get me started. The difference between racism and a way of life depends on who owns and controls the power and authority over you. When envious and jealous people, greedy people have power and authority over you, that's when you suffer from racism. When like-minded people, when people of the same conscience, the same mind, the same morals, values, and principles have power and authority over their own community, that's when you create a way of life. That's when you have prosperity. That's when you have peace in abundance. We keep voting and supporting one white person over the next that's presiding over all people. These people don't know you. They don't know your values. They don't know what you treasure, what you love. Because what those things that you love affects their bottom dollar. And they would rather leave you right where you at than to put one nickel less in their pocket. Like I say, here you have a country that's leading the world in mass shootings. The number one killer of children is gun violence. And yet these politicians won't lift a finger to do anything about it. They more scared of the NRA than they are for the people who actually vote for them to put them in office. Don't get me started. Listen, people. Here you got Donald Trump sitting up here talking about America is would be the greatest country on earth as long as he's in charge. But if he's not so much. This is why we keep having this stuff over and over again, because like I say, we keep voting one white person after the next. Change is not going to come to you. You got to go to it. And change is not going to be no pursuit of one thing. Change is a pursuit of several things all at once. I'm in this video here. And if you like this message, and if you like this content, and if you like this pressure that I put on our oppressor, then pull a little pressure on that follow subscribe button and catch me in my next video. Ashe.